Throughout this week, we've been tracking the numbers for COVID throughout America because remember, we were told two things over the past few months. One group of people, I'll call them scientists, were saying that we are going to have a dark winter. It is going to be dark times. The numbers are going to go up, partially because it's going to be cold. People are going to be clustering more together. You have the interaction with the actual flus, which COVID is not like, but the flu also still exists, and all of that. Then you have this other group of people that were telling us COVID is just gonna go away after the election because it's not really here, it's made up, it's a hoax. You had people like Eric Trump saying that in advance of the election. Right after the election, Dave Rubin said, can we at least now dispense with the hoax of the pandemic? Well, the pandemic isn't ready to dispense with the hoax of the pandemic because the numbers have continued to go up. Most recent daily report from the COVID tracking project shows 164,000 cases and 1,869 deaths. We are damn near close to 2,000 deaths again. The highest death count in one day reported since May 7th. We have gone back, we've shot back before the second wave. We're now back into the first wave of deaths. And when you look at those charts, look at those curves, the cases shooting up, there is every reason to believe that in a couple of weeks, that 1,869 is gonna look like good times.
It's the ongoing depressing cycle of 2020 that America really never left its first wave. We just had one kind of big cresting wave that hit us, followed by a continuing onslaught tsunami that's continuing hitting this country. And the way that this is being so grossly mishandled by the Trump administration, again, there should be some sort of accountability here. So we don't say that you can do this willy-nilly with the American government, because then why even bother having an American government? Let's just all renounce our passports today. But there is, because I know people, and I know you know people, John, who like you've lost to COVID and other things like that, or just even like, I know people who I haven't like lost to COVID, but like I couldn't go to their funerals or anything because of all of this lockdown stuff that's going on. And it's difficult, but because these people are so steadfast in a lot of their beliefs, they are continuing to let this happen because these are the numbers that we're seeing on a lag, because we don't know the day of numbers all the time. We get some reporting, has to go through some processes, has to be checked and tested, and then these numbers are released. So we're kind of seeing what happened 2 weeks ago when people started getting infected. That was just October. So we're gonna see some numbers from right now around Thanksgiving. And then because the waters are muddied around Thanksgiving and people are going to spend time with each other, that's going to pool into December, and it's gonna be very grim. And I'm sorry out there to the folks who are watching, at least, who like understand what's going on and have lost or might lose people to COVID, because this was easily preventable. And I hope that we, as people who do understand what's going on and can be convinced that wearing a mask is not the same as being under a dictatorship, can call for accountability for this, so that in the next 100 years or 10 years, when a big epidemic strikes, this isn't allowed. We know exactly what not to do. And America doesn't like have this catastrophic sort of collapse like we have right now.
Yeah, really fast, and we'll return to the serious stuff. But like you've probably seen, everyone's seen the occasional anecdote of like an individual who lived through the 1907-08 plague that just died or something like that. So presumably there are people who are being born now who've lived through this one, who in 75 years, when like Barron Trump's grandkid becomes president, we're gonna have another terrible pandemic. That's what it's looking like. So these numbers are just terrible. I'm glad that you acknowledged the lag time. There's a few doctors who've been writing quite a bit about this on social media. One, Jorge Caballero, said, due to administrative delays in death certificate processing, today's death toll actually reflects persons who died 3 to 6 weeks ago. That means 250,000 US persons died of COVID as of 3 to 6 weeks ago. And if the case numbers are still going up, what is it gonna look like in a few weeks? What is it gonna look like on Thanksgiving? What sort of Christmas present are we gonna have this year if these numbers continue? And if they're given a shot in the arm by the biggest nationwide gathering that we'll have had yet during the pandemic? It's gonna be terrible. And in many parts of the country, it already is. This is dark. Take a look at this chart. They had to add new colors to the COVID exit strategy maps because the highest level, like over, I think it was 25% positivity rate for tests, too many states all had the same color, so they added more higher thresholds to differentiate it for 30 and 50% positive on COVID rates. And you can see that band of 50% sort of stretching through the country. The governor of South Dakota that we talked about on yesterday's show, having the highest COVID positivity rate yet in the country, one of the highest in the entire world right now, gave a press conference about Thanksgiving and mandates and encouraged cities that didn't want to participate in them to not participate in them. Because we all know what we need to do. We get to choose. We love liberty. We love liberty and we love lots and lots of funerals. That's what we love in America.
If there is one silver lining out of this, John, I know we mentioned that and acknowledged that I was basically a zygote when 9/11 happened, but I have this warm memory of back when American life was dictated in colors, like back when you had the terror alert warning level system and you had all those colors like, Ma, what's the weather like outside? Is it an orange? Is it a red? Or are we at yellow today? Oh, that's great. I can go play out with my kids. So now we have like a COVID color chart and there's even some like nice purples and lavenders in there. So that's another thing I can check in the morning. It's cool.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I mean, what color are they gonna bring in after this? Like they're going pretty dark with those purples. Like, does it suddenly go into a good green or something? I don't know. Something toxic though, I know that.
Ultraviolet.
Okay, ultraviolet perhaps, the flavor of the monster I had a couple days ago. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.